Hey everyone, post-editing Devin here to warn you that the audio in this episode sounds really bad. This is due to us not using our normal chat program due to connection issues, and my failing to check how loud OBS was picking up Steam's group voice chat. Lauren and Bruce were so quiet I had a miniature heart attack when reviewing the recording because I thought it hadn't picked them up at all. So you're going to be getting the salvage dialogue experience with this one, because there's only so much that Premiere's compressor can do when Lauren and Bruce are mixed so low that the background noise from my room interferes with their voices. Now Devin, you may ask, why are you recording everything on one audio track for only one person over Discord? Sometimes I ask myself that question too. I promise this won't happen next time. Anyway, away with the show.
Discover the ugly truth, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my comrades Lauren and Bruce, and today we have some very interesting Sonic X episodes.
I guess interesting is a word you could use.
Anything especially, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's more next week than this week, and also the last week. I don't know. But, yeah, we are starting here with episode 70, The Eggman Armada Appears! Or Terror on the Typhoon, wherein Sonic and the gang are trapped in an impossible situation when Eggman forms an alliance with the Metarex bosses.
Those Japanese style love spoiling.
They also love punctuation marks.
That's an interesting observation.
It's a thing with Japanese titles in general, because I'm thinking, like, you know, how, like, almost every Dragon Ball episode title nowadays is always, like, exclamation, and then explanation of what the explanation is about.
Good point.
But, yeah, so we start right in the middle of the action here with an immediate Metarex battle after the heroes, like, already found them with a ship and a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, a bit like we're jumping right into the middle of the episode.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, I mean, at least it's an interesting grab.
Yeah, so they're chasing some guy, and it's like, oh, you know, wonder what's going on with that. And it's funny because, you know, they're chasing after this guy. We get a rare usage. I thought that new plane they built was gonna have more use, but this is like the first time I remember them even bringing it out with Chris flying it here. Maybe he had it when the Shadow episode happened. I don't know.
I think he did, but this it's still only like the third time.
Yeah, and this Metarex ship, you look inside it, and you see that the pilot is this pill-headed robot, and it's like, oh.
I wonder
what's going on there.
The really funny thing about that is that there's no way the heroes could see them, so the disguise is just for the viewers.
Yeah, it's literally just for us, and it's a bad disguise to do.
And they're, you know, trying to get close to it, but it hyper jumps away before they can do that. So, but you know, Chaos Emeralds chasing dudes and robots and all that. So I guess it's not much of a difference in what their strategy should be.
Not really.
Also, the Master Emerald is like acting weird, and they say
in this episode it also looks kind of deformed.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It might just be weird art though.
It might be weird on my weird perspective. It kind of looks more like a rock than it does, you know, a diamond cut.
Yeah, it looks like just like an emerald you pulled out of the ground.
And they say, oh, you know, maybe there's interference due to the Metarex universe. They're back to calling it a universe.
Whatever. In my mind, I'm just reading it as Metarex space.
Yeah. But, yeah, you know, we're working through this. Tails techno-babbles at Cosmo a little bit.
Cosmo just in one ear and out the other. It's like me watching Star Trek.
Oh. Wait, you're saying you have a similar relation to Star Trek as Tails and Cosmo have with each other?
No. Excuse me. It's specifically when, in an episode of Star Trek where the chief engineer is just, is doing the exact same thing Tails is doing, and in my brain, it's going. His explanation is going in one ear and straight out the other.
See, I was gonna make a joke with autistic hyperfixation babbling, and how it's like, I love my partner when they're going off on this tangential bullshit. But
I mean, that is kind of what Cosmo's face is saying. Just oh, you're adorable when you're going off on this thing I don't understand.
Anywho, so after that, we follow the robot ship into this another galaxy corridor. What's going on with this?
I realized
I don't
something. Sonic X takes place in the 40K universe. The FTL method of 40K is literally ripping a hole through the universe and traveling through hell, or through the warp, and that's kind of what the Metarex seem to do. If this is their method of getting around their...
Well, which part is hell? The part with all the rocks? It's pretty tame hell.
Well, so the warp is just... Calling it hell is not accurate. It's just like... It's like a pocket dimension. That's
okay.
You enter, travel, and then leave. It's like nether travel in Minecraft.
Oh, so that's even Zen in like Half-Life is sort of the same deal.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Glad we figured that out. Anyway,
I don't know that that's what this is, but it looks cool.
I don't know if that's actually what it is. It does look interesting, especially I have to admit, a lot of this arc has kind of looked a little visually boring because a lot of it's just been in space.
Yeah.
We'll take it where we can get it. That other robot is Deco, by the way. They reveal that here. I don't know why they bothered even trying to act like it was something else.
Because they have to try and trick us.
Yep.
I guess. He runs away while this huge fleet of more ships, Eggman ships as it is, rises out of the space wall.
Eggman suddenly has an armada. That's certainly interesting. I wonder where he got it from.
Like, it was obvious that was Deco, but I didn't expect suddenly Eggman army.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see the Egg Fleet.
Eggman has an alliance with the Metarex now, which I'm sure will not backfire in any way.
I do not understand this from a writing.
It's bizarre because Eggman has been like actually surprisingly nice lately, and suddenly he's like, "I'm gonna join the Metarex."
Yeah, surprisingly nice, and also like he's never shown that he has any interest in working with the Metarex.
Yeah, I mean the last time we saw Eggman was that Shadow episode, and he was fighting against the Metarex.
If anything, that should have shown him as, he's an evil genius, but working with them is stooping even lower.
Yeah.
It is very obvious that this isn't a legit alliance.
No, I understand he definitely has some sort of ulterior motive.
But he is actually trying his darndest to defeat the heroes, which I do find strange.
Yeah. I will accept this if at some point they call them the Metarex.
Yeah.
When people talk about this show, it's a lot of the question that you could think about that doesn't matter, but it's just, why is it called Sonic X? And one thing interesting that has been posited is that it's not just the X tornado, which is the only thing you can objectively state, but technically you could translate Metarex as Metal X.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to, but it's something.
Part of the show, though.
Yeah, that doesn't really explain why the entire show is called Sonic X.
I just thought that was funny, but yeah. Also, Zelkova is a fucking hypocrite for being here and being like, Eggman is too much of a goof-ass.
Yeah.
It is true, though, that Eggman is being much goofier than he usually is. I wonder if he's doing it on purpose just to annoy them. Probably.
It's because he doesn't have Shadow here to hold him back. I feel like people are probably going to think that we forgot that Shadow left last episode, but we just didn't mention it in the video.
It didn't really come up, I guess.
It's alright. Sonic is here to fight Eggman with another new pair of shoes. They call these Thunderball shoes?
Yeah.
They allow him to do galactic soccer kicks that blow up robots.
Sure, why not?
Because I don't know what the point is. Why not? Because it's unnecessary? Because it
I know.
Like, if so...
Normally I would chalk this up to selling toys, but something tells me this show didn't have a whole lot of merchandise.
There were Sonic X toys. I have a Chris Thorndike figure sitting in the cabinet next to me, actually.
God.
I think I also have...
They give, Sonic a million different accessories for all the accessories in the show.
No, I don't believe so. In fact, I don't think anything from the Metarex arc had merch.
There you go.
I think the way I view this upgrade is, did you guys ever find the magic gloves in Sonic Adventure 2?
Of course. It's ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah.
I think I did.
They let you turn enemies into balls when you press the button context sensitive near them, and then you can throw them at other enemies. So this creates balls that Sonic kicks at enemies.
Wait, which character is
It's
this
for
for?
Sonic and SEGA.
For Sonic, okay.
Yeah, it's hidden in City Escape. You have to bounce attack a load of boxes.
Yeah, you can revisit it
Fascinating.
later. So it's really...
Oh yeah, so I really wouldn't have gotten it then.
Yeah, excessively strange upgrade, and I don't think this is necessarily referencing that, but that's what I view this as an evolution of.
It's the closest thing. It is equally overpowered. It's just taking a soccer ball and it blows up spaceships.
But yes, so the Metarex fleet, the Eggerex fleet, as you can call it, launches a huge frontal assault, and it's really funny because there's so much gunfire that it mostly just takes out their own ships.
Yeah, but they don't care. It's stated that they don't care about that. They're just focused on hitting.
It's worth it to hit the Typhoon.
Right. Well, their ships are clearly... So they make a comment, actually, earlier in the episode. They could only build this fleet with Eggman's skill, which is odd.
Yeah, well,
Didn't they already have a fleet?
they already had a lot of ships, and I don't know what's supposed to be special about these ones made by Eggman. It's like... There's no egg fleet in this show. If this had something like, Final Fortress from Sonic Heroes, something gargantuan.
Yeah, but it's nothing particularly seemingly special. It's just more.
Yeah.
Eggman's expertise make it so they can build more ships.
Well, he does have one thing, which is that they launched the Sonic driver, but Eggman has an electric net to catch him with.
I'm honestly surprised it took the Metarex this long to have any method of blocking the Sonic driver.
That's the power of having Eggman on your side, I guess.
That's really what I thought the contribution was.
Yeah, that's honestly the biggest contribution.
The power of a boss that can only expose its weak point sometimes.
Game design 101.
It also somehow blows up the Master Emerald controls and Knuckles? What?
Yeah, why was there like a feedback?
Because you're not touching the... I don't know how that works.
It's not like Sonic has like a wire connected to him when he's fired.
Yeah.
So
He'd be a pop gun if they did that.
Hey, that would be a much more simple method of getting him back.
Well, that's the other thing, is how the hell do they get it back? Because we have this happen, and then we cut to Sonic and Knuckles in the infirmary, and it's like, how did they get Sonic back?
So, we had an episode a few weeks ago where Chris mentions he had forgotten to design a retrieval system for Sonic. We never came back to that plot point, right?
I don't think so, no. So I guess they just say it.
Good. I thought I was losing it.
It seems like now would be the perfect time to show that off. Maybe there's a deleted scene or something. I don't know.
The writers just forgot, probably. They're like, yeah, they just do it. Obviously, they have a retrieval device. They'd be stupid if they didn't. Ignoring the fact that, 15 episodes ago or whatever, they firmly established that they didn't.
Very strange. But, yeah, so Sonic and Knuckles are injured, and the fleet prepares for another attack, but they've got the shield up, so they're just waiting for it to go down, I guess.
Unfortunately, Eggman also contributed some stupidity in, I'll give the heroes a chance to rest up. Deactivate the net, for gosh sake.
Yeah, it's like...
Maybe they can't deactivate it. They have to just wait for it to burn out.
That's stupid design, and seems like it's something Eggman would make.
It is stupid design.
Yeah. In fairness, that's a rest of a whole 5 minutes, which I don't know that that's really going to do much for them.
Also, this shield is being generated by shield generators. Why not target the shield generators and destroy them? I guess all that does is just make them a target, or make the Blue Typhoon a target.
Because I guess they want to be able to use this thing again? I don't know.
No, I mean the heroes.
They don't have Sonic fireworks. They don't have Sonic.
Yeah, but
they're just lying in wait. I don't think they want to take down the shield as it's protecting them.
I mean right now, but
no, I get it. It's a weird dynamic. And
had a little bit of trouble following the action here, and when they were just like, "Oh wow, we've almost got them," I just took them at their word. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Sure.
In the meantime, Tails has a panic attack, but Alien GF will give him some words of encouragement. They gotta
Have a realistic portrayal of panic.
What was up with that trend? Like, I don't know, a year ago about like realistic depiction of a panic attack in children's animation. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, I don't know what was going on with that. Portraying something like that realistically isn't a terrible idea.
No, it was just really weird because it was like 5 or 6 different things were like, this is I don't know. Anyway,
I remember what you're talking about.
So we're coming up with a solution, which is we are going to destabilize the field with the shield with the ring road and plow through it using the ship's shield. And Sonic is still like busted, but he's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like you're just gonna get shot after that, but maybe they're fast enough that they'll be able to get out of the way. I don't know.
Once again, just took the show at its word, like, oh yes, this will be the winning blow, surely. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta accept a lot of things in Sonic in general, and especially this series.
Well, yeah, we've effectively gone to the point in this series where we have to take the show at its word that that X plan will work.
Yeah. That's what the X stands for. As it happens, we fire Sonic. Sonic bounces off the barrier and falls back. So it doesn't work until it does work, except it can't go through because Master Emerald isn't working right until it is because Knuckles limps over to it and makes it work.
Rare Knuckles win here, actually being cool and like fighting through the pain.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a cool Knuckles moment, but this was literally this entire plan was just literally a case of, oh shit, it's not working. Here's this thing that we didn't think of that is now happening.
Yep, classic.
I guess if you gotta do something.
I guess.
But yes, they blast through. They barely make it out in one piece, but they have escaped. And Tails apologizes for sucking. So he and Cosmo really are made for each other, because that's most of what Cosmo does too. Action episode, a lot of contrivance. I guess there was nothing particularly egregious about it.
It was an episode.
Sudden Alliance is kind of weird.
Eggman Sudden Alliance is my biggest problem.
Well, maybe we can rectify that soon. Let's move on to episode 71, Cafe Chaotix. There's an episode named that too, or as it's called in the dub, Hedgehog Hunt. Broke and with no way to repair their ship, the Chaotix run a bar on an alien planet where heroes and villains alike come to visit. Yeah, we're doing this. It's a Chaotix episode, but I think that this is different from the others in that it doesn't necessarily have to be the Chaotix episode full of ridiculous antics.
We just didn't make it overly stupid, and that's all it takes to not make it terrible.
Yeah.
Although it is a little silly, we start off with the Metarex just watching the news.
Yeah, Metarex news.
They have a fucking gala with food and drinks and a TV where Eggman is like schmoozing.
Sure.
And Bayleaf is like getting embarrassed. He's like, why did I bring this guy along?
Yeah, you know what? You never brought a friend somewhere and you're immediately like, God, why did I bring you?
Seeing this dynamic here, it's so awkward. I'm like, it must be pretty obvious that, like, this is not legit. And, like, it must be not legit on both sides. The Metarex must be aware that Eggman isn't fully committing to this, and they need him for some big reason.
Oh, they must understand they can't trust him.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's messing around, he's,
They can't trust them.
He's kind of snarking at them, laughing to himself. There's these hilarious illustrations of him and like the other Metarex like blowing up Sonic, and then like him giving a back rub to Bayleaf and playing golf with Zelkova. So it's the show itself is not taking this alliance seriously, I feel like.
Which is annoying, but at least sure.
It does make it feel a little less threatening.
Prefer if you're going to put Eggman in a clearly farcical alliance that you at least not expect the audience to believe it that much. I don't know. I get what you're saying, though, that it's like, the Metarex were this big imposing thing, and we've kind of torn that down progressively. They're just kind of weirdos now.
The Metarex have become less and less, not even just less and less of a threat, they've become less and less interesting.
Yeah.
To some extent.
Keep up the threat, but it doesn't really seem like they're even trying.
I think Dark Oak is, a good example of this. He's not shadowed and sitting on a black throne. He's standing at a podium giving speeches to boost morale.
Yeah, he's like a fucking politician all of a sudden.
Which is, again, weird because they're robots, but whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a special speech for just his three guys, and Eggman, I guess.
Yeah, because Eggman's now a Metarex boss.
Eggman just exudes a field of unseriousness, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Fair.
Right, so I can see the alliance negotiations, and Eggman is like, all right, we'll work together, but one condition has to be met is we have to have like casual parties together. Dark Oak.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking Dark Legion cookout from that one Knuckles comic.
Oh my gosh, it is exactly like that.
Yeah.
Narcissus does clarify that he still fucking hates the guy, but Eggman is clear that if what the Metarex want from all these eggs and emeralds isn't his liking, he's not actually going to cooperate.
Right. We don't know what the Metarex are doing still. I hadn't really realized that until this episode. Like, we still know basically nothing about the Metarex.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
It's good to hold off on revealing stuff. Yeah, but I feel like they revealed like nothing.
They're holding out too much.
They're pushing it to its limit, especially when they're undermining the atmosphere.
Yeah, I want something. The Metarex could be cool villains.
Give it time. Let's visit a bar in the meantime. We have here a space bar run by the Chaotix, and hey, anime original animal people, are these guys aliens? Are there just more of Sonic type characters out in the stars, I guess?
A lot of them look a little too alien, though.
Yeah, there's a pig dude, Porcolos maybe? There's some guy with bat ears, a reptilian tail, a pig snout, and a horn in the middle of his forehead.
I mean, that's definitely an alien.
I don't. If you made him a color other than green, you could almost say he looks the same species as Naugus.
Oh my god.
That's probably a coincidence.
Yeah.
Vector talks to the camera about how they got here and how, hi, I can play piano.
Yeah, so, like, there must have been, like, a large time skip. I don't know how long things have been going on in this show. For them to, like, crash and then set up a whole cafe.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently,
they're fitting right in now, though.
Yeah, but I mean, this looks.
Aliens.
This is. It's Mos Eisley. There's a diverse spiel of alien grifters here. I don't know.
Yeah, the cafe is actually just owned by a crime lord.
Yeah. Apparently, they didn't want to lose any money with outer space customs, so they just rammed through the galaxy corridor and ended up in Metarex land. But I'm gonna be honest. I like this for Vector. He's not being an annoying bitch anymore. He gets to harass drunks that won't pay their tab and act like a hard-boiled detective.
Yeah, at least this feels more like an actual detective. More like something that makes sense.
It's funny. When you stated that, and I was like, oh, you're right, that actually does make sense. But when I saw this scene, I was like, this is not like Vector at all.
Well, because I agree, actually. When I first watched this, I was like, this doesn't really feel right. But describing it that way, it's like, oh, no, it actually does kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's still weird. I don't know. I don't know if I would have this be a mainstay, but for me, it's such a big upgrade from him just creating problems on purpose.
Well, yeah, I definitely prefer that. But I'm just saying, it doesn't seem.
I don't want delusional Vector.
Yeah. So Eggman is here. He is. Okay, he is on Metarex orders to put a galactic hit on Sonic, or I guess to just put up wanted posters.
Yeah, it's not even, I don't think there's like a reward though for his capture or anything. I think they just want someone to kill him.
I mean, there's $1 reward on the poster.
Oh, there is actually, yeah.
Eggman shows like his ID and it's like a spider. Is that the Metarex emblem? What?
I don't know. It's a very strange thing. Is it like a calling card? I don't know. I do like how Vector's like, you can't put those here, and then Deco's like, okay, and then he puts it on the underside of a table.
Well, yeah, because Vector says just put it up somewhere where no one can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I also like
Following directions.
I also like them giving Eggman a hard time where he's like, can I get a glass of water? And SBO's like, sorry, we're all out of water. He says as he has running water washing dishes.
I mean, really want to drink tap water on an alien planet?
Water machine broke. And of course, you know, the punchline to all of these shenanigans is Sonic and friends are just hiding out upstairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's funny because it's like, oh, we're hiding out while the Typhoon is in repair. And by repair, we mean Tails and Cosmo are standing by it because they don't have the parts to fix it. You know, it really does feel like a nice, grimy rest stop where you're not really sure what you can do.
Yeah, which is that's a fun vibe. I can appreciate that, but
It's like having a flat tire on a road trip. It's not fun, but it'll make a nice story.
yeah, sure.
And it's like Sonic can run too fast for, you know, visibility or to be seen, and so they're having him go out sometimes, but he can't slow down or stop to actually pay for anything. Which, at this point, you know, you guys are fighting the greatest galactic warmongers. You should be able to just steal stuff.
No, but they want to be polite.
Sonic is not polite.
Yeah, but Sonic's not gonna... I don't think Sonic's gonna steal things unless he has to.
Yeah, I suppose not. Vector ends up agreeing to help with their shopping. And I want to note here, this alien world just has a normal-ass supermarket in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seemed like a pretty civilized world.
It's just funny that it looks exactly like an Earth market.
I mean, there's only some way you can make a supermarket look.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's like, you know, he buys all this stuff and one spaceship part, and the Metarex are like, that's the motherfucker, that's the guy.
It's probably, I don't know if there are any silly references in the Japanese, but in the English, one of the parts he buys is a flux capacitor.
Oh, they definitely do not say that in the Japanese version. That's funny.
No.
I wondered if there was an equivalent reference.
I don't remember what it is he buys, but I didn't notate anything, which means it can't have been that notable.
He buys an anti-gravity child seat.
Oh,
Okay, well, there's...
I forgot about that. Wait, who would that be for?
Cosmo?
I guess. Well, it's like Cream didn't need anything, though.
Actually, yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe it's for Charmy. Maybe it's for his ship.
Vector does point out that he finds the one part that they need for their ship also.
Yeah. So yeah, they're about to take the parts to the ship, but Eggman shows up to the bar again, seemingly to just bitch about how much he hates the Metarex and wishes he were the one to fight Sonic.
Yeah, that he's off doing the busy work.
Yeah, but then the secret come out, as it were. He talks shit about the heroes to get their attention, and then loudly proclaims the position of Bayleaf and his Armada.
Yeah, clearly Eggman.
He's helping them escape.
He's not the best ally.
So
He is the best ally.
well, it's just strange because it makes me think that was this his plan, working with the Metarex the whole time?
That's what I'm thinking.
It doesn't...
But
that may be the case, but if it is, his actions make no sense. Because...
What was all of last episode, yeah.
Yeah, last episode, he, actually got really close to beating him. And I didn't see him, be like, oh, shoot, wait, and then, sabotage him or something. If he had done that, it would have made sense. But this does not seem in keeping.
Maybe he just changed his mind when he saw that, oh, these Metarex fools, they're not going to let me have Sonic defeated the way I want to. I don't know. But, so, Bayleaf himself is, watching all this, and he's like, alright, get these guys. Oh, the Typhoon is leaving, better launch an attack. But it's not, actually. The ship explodes, but the Chaotix ship is moving at the same time. So, are we all escaping together? Are the heroes dead? No. The Chaotix are still at their bar. And as it happens, Eggman arrives again, injured and misquoting Casablanca.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And the quote-unquote blue Typhoon cracks open to reveal it was a shell around Eggman's ship, so he acted as a decoy. Why did he have to be on the ship for that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Another good question is why did the Metarex shoot down the ship and then not make sure that the passengers were taken out?
I mean, that's a cartoon problem in general, as you do the thing that looks like they're gonna die and you say, no one could have survived that, and then you don't look for a body.
I'm just... The Metarex... Let me think about this. Are they usually more competent in the show?
Not really.
Well,
I guess not.
The problem is we haven't seen the Metarex kill anybody before, other than, I guess, Cosmo's spaceship in a flashback. But yes, Eggman acted as a decoy for the heroes to escape. The Chaotix have stayed on this world, and Eggman finally gets his drink.
I love this. This is great. He cracks an egg, puts it in the drink, and then drinks it. Yes, I'm all for Eggman eating eggs in weird ways.
Yeah, it's that gross...
A glass of whiskey with a raw egg in it.
Well, that is a drink that some people... Because I remember, I think it's Cowboy Bebop, Spike makes that at some point.
The Spike makes a prairie oyster, which is similar, but it's Worcestershire sauce, raw eggs, hot sauce, vinegar, and black pepper.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a hangover cure. I think what Eggman's doing is a form of hair of the dog, which is where you wake up hungover, so you start drinking again.
Oh.
It's hair of the dog that bit you, and then he just puts an egg in it, because supposedly, the reason I've always heard about raw eggs being in hangover cures is supposedly there's proteins in the egg yolk that can help with the symptoms of a hangover.
Doesn't Spike drink something with a fucking scorpion in it in that show too?
I have not actually seen Cowboy Bebop, so I would not know.
I'm amazed you got the prairie oyster thing, because that is true. Anyway,
There's a YouTube video about that.
None of this matters. Anyway, the point is, yes, this last scene is good, actually. I like Eggman in these casual circumstances. Yeah. He has, this very... the piano playing is very melancholic. Eggman is sort of it's a very, where the fuck is my life gone expression that he has on right now.
Yeah, it's divorced dad wondering where it all went wrong.
Yeah.
It's confusing. It makes me even more confusing as to, wait a minute, was this Eggman's plan all along? Or did he change his mind? It does kind of seem like he changed his mind. But still going to keep the alliance up after this, so...
Yeah, that's
to some extent.
That's the question of the hour.
Eggman has a conscience, so maybe this is just him going through his feelings about it. To be honest, with the piano playing him out, I thought he was gonna not be around for the last few episodes or something. That's not true.
I can see how you'd feel that way. It kind of feels like this is supposed to be our send-off for Dr. Eggman for the show.
Thankfully, it's not. That would be a worse show if that were the case, but...
It would be an interesting way to send him off, but, you do that, during the final episode, or, at the end of the final episode.
That's too early.
Yeah, too early to send him off.
Yeah, we got to get introduced to the true form of the Metarex. That's the name of episode 72. The true form of the Metarex! ! Or Zelkova Strikes Back is the dub name.
Even the main focus of the episode. What the heck?
No, it isn't. It's literally the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you call it the true plan of the Metarex, because the Blue Typhoon suffers a direct and climactic attack from Metarex boss Yellow Zelkova, while Shadow and Rouge investigate the true nature of the Metarex's goals for the universe. Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, feel it.
It's not extremely clear yet, but we're getting into it, is the point. Hey, we went from a space bar to a space diner. A space Denny's.
Yeah, that's how you know it's an anime. There's a Benny's.
Yeah. Well, no, it needs to be a a Donnie's or a Benny's or a Derek's. Shadow and Rouge are here. That's the point. They're hanging out here,
Parts.
and Shadow is kind of like mixed up about everything that's happened, and the bartender tries to hear his life story. It doesn't really work, but I want to note that I have seen for years a set of screen caps where this bartender asks, like, when were you happiest in life, Shadow? And Shadow says, when I was dead. And I really wish that was in the show, but it's not.
Oh, what's that? You're telling me this whole time it was made by Windy and I never knew? Yeah, figures.
Shadow thinks Rouge should go home. He's like, I want to take the rest of this journey alone.
I don't entirely blame him for thinking that. I'm glad that she doesn't, though.
I guess technically she's helped a little here and there.
She has,
but largely no.
It's not about help. I think, it's dangerous, and Shadow, much as he would deny it, does actually want to protect people.
Yeah, well, but Rouge's character ends up, to me at least, I think she's kind of needed for Shadow in this show.
She can keep him restrained. If Shadow were on his own here. Yeah. Also, wasn't Shadow supposed to be missing his memory? It feels like he just has it now. Like there was never a
done that as well.
There was never a we got the memories back moment. And you know what? Fine, you may as well have not mentioned it at all. Better that than do Shadow the Hedgehog all over again.
Yeah, for the love of God, we don't need more Shadow amnesia.
Yeah. But they're setting off, and surprising nobody, the heroes are under attack from the Metarex again.
Kind of feels like yeah, I was gonna say, kind of feels like we're retreading ground again.
Chris even remarks on how they have basically no time to look for emeralds because of how constant the attacks are.
At this point, you might as well just focus on going after the Metarex.
Yeah, but this time it is Yellow Zelkova. Motherfucker just grabs the entire ship from underneath with his hands.
Yep. Yeah.
And, Narcissus and Bailey remark on the fact that Zelkova's a dumbass. But hey, nobody else thought of a plan as immediate and devastating as throw the ship at a big rock.
Hey, if you can do it, that's a good plan.
It's covered in lava and lightning storms, it could work.
Yeah.
He also asks them a weird riddle about graveyards and decides this place will be one for them.
Yeah, Zelkova gets weirdly verbose here. It seems kind of out of character, not that I really know his character very much. He spouts things like, the abyss is waiting for you.
Like, damn.
Well, it's like, I could almost see what they're going for, because, having a guy on your villain squad who's a blustering, military man who always goes on about the poetic justice of battle, that I assume is what they're going for here. Lots of anime have that as a villain archetype, and, for a guy who's a boss but not the boss, that makes sense. But the problem is that in Zelkova's first appearance, it didn't even seem like that was what he was. He was just some dumbass that liked eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, maybe this is finally bringing that into better focus, and I'll say this episode does Zelkova better justice than the others have. Not an amazing amount, but,
I guess.
Anywho, so, Sonic attacks, but he can't damage Zelkova, which he couldn't before, but now he extra can't, because he has some Eggman tech shielding him. And a sticker, which he takes very seriously.
I do like that everyone doesn't like Eggman being around here, but Zelkova will fall prey to the Eggman propaganda.
Yeah.
I wish that we had been able to see them being friends almost. That would be fun. But Sonic and Knuckles attack together, and it plays "Vengeance Is Mine," the Radical Highway theme.
I random again.
Yeah.
It's weird because, in the Shadow episode, the use of SA2 themes made sense, and, even the House of Mirrors music was at least creepy for a creepy, explanation of everybody dying.
Yeah.
This is just random.
I mean, I guess if we're gonna do something random, make it a good...
Yeah, I mean, I fucking love that song, so who cares, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna attack together, and then we cut to the really important plot of this episode, which is Shadow and Rouge, who find this asteroid covered in forestry and something shining at the top of the trees. And that is just forest, I might add. It is covered in trees, but there's no fauna to this flora.
Right.
And this is what a dead world looks like after the Metarex colonize it. And something's shining up there. We'll get there in a second. Meanwhile, Tails is like, in order to break Zelkova's shield, we need more energy than we can get from rings alone. But what could we use? Gee, I wonder.
Wow. Yeah.
You guys... What? But what could we use that gets to me? Because, if you said it needs more than just rings, we need something else, and then you go get the something... Whatever. I better figure that out pretty quick, though, because Knuckles is left hanging over the pit of lava, and Zelkova is pushing you in after him.
Yeah, once again, Eggman gave Zelkova a really good upgrade, actually, and he's actually devastating them. I don't know what he would think if he saw this, live.
Yeah, and as it happens... Okay, Tails does not even consider some attack involving chaos energy is the hilarious part. Knuckles discovers one solution, though, which is to hit him really hard.
I love this. Knuckles is getting another win. Because, he just flails against Zelkova over and over. And I'm like, wow, okay, just repeated the first encounter. And then he actually does some damage. And I'm like, what the heck? That never happens.
And he does mutual damage. He hits Zelkova so hard that it breaks the spikes on his gloves.
Yeah.
Hey, Knuckles gets to actually be useful.
Yeah, and I assume that, hurts his hand, too. I don't know if this show is going with the Knuckles spikes exist on his hands thing.
It follows regular canon, which is not established, I think.
I guess we've never seen him with his gloves off in canon. I'm pretty sure they're just a part of the glove.
Yeah.
Because even in Archie, Knuckles having them on his hands was a thing with genetic mutation. But yes, the real solution is not chaos energy, but tying Zelkova up with a cable and electrocuting him with the planet's lightning storms.
Sure, why not? I mean, that's a lot of energy.
I guess, but it's funny that just, nobody even brought up the emeralds. But, this does real damage. In fact, it does enough damage that it destroys Zelkova's shield and also Zelkova's armor. Yeah, so I completely spoiled that any of the Metarex were organic, but...
I had a feeling that was the case anyway.
Yeah, it's the bosses. A Metarex, or at least this Metarex, is not a robot. He is instead a big... dude. He is a fuzzy something.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're supposed to look like.
He has tree branches for horns.
Yeah, maybe he's a Kieran.
The thing that I don't know about this is obviously the fact that he's not a robot and is a dude is supposed to be something of a reveal. I don't know how much you're supposed to associate his appearance with anything else, though.
I don't... It's a weird moment.
Yeah.
Because the heroes are they stop for a minute, and then they keep going, and then there's absolutely no discussion of this. It's as if it's not really that relevant.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that, you'd expect that Cosmo would have a reaction to this, but future episodes just treat it like it's a given that you understand that this guy is what a male member of Cosmo's species looks like.
I had a feeling that was the case, okay.
But they don't say that, and there's never a point where that's treated as a reveal. You're just supposed to know.
Of course.
Is it a problem of design?
Similar, but...
They look somewhat similar, and you pointed out tree branches. I could understand...
I think...
Thinking
wait a minute. The names. Dark Oak, Bailey...
Well, yeah, they're all named after plants.
Trees and plants, yeah. I think... I'll tell you what I think it is. If Zelkova here had a neck... That would have been enough.
You know what? A neck would definitely help.
The fact that the males of the species just kind of have their heads connected to their torsos and not like a distinction, which Sonic characters already don't have necks, but you know what I mean. If there was a clear line between them, I think I would have been much more like able to get that was they were supposed to be the same species. So yeah, this is Zelkova. He's a guy. The species doesn't even have a name, so I don't even know what to call them. But
they're Cosmos species. We just don't know what the entire species is.
Yeah, Cedrian is not canon, by the way. That's a name that fans made up and that even some wikis picked up on and said was canon, but it's not.
Complaints.
Plant dude, yeah. So he keeps fighting, and Knuckles punches him, but his big fleshy body is in fact nothing without his armor. So Knuckles has, he can do some real damage. He goes straight into the lava pit. In fact, I want to note that this is very odd because there is a desperation move that Zelkova should be able to use, but he's not using it. But he sinks lower and lower, and he's hanging on the wall, and Knuckles is like, I don't actually want to kill anybody, which fine, whatever, kids show heroes, etc. So Knuckles dives in and hangs on the wall trying to catch him, but Zelkova's like, no.
You bested me.
He refuses and lets himself sink into a fiery grave. Is this a Sonic OVA moment?
Not every death by lava in Sonic is an OVA moment.
No, clearly it's Terminator 2.
Yeah, but there's a lot of...
There are 2 references.
That's actually probably more accurate.
Every death by lava in this series is also punctuated with a "let me save you" and a "no."
I must go. My people need me.
There is only one Knuckles. And hey, if these guys are the Metal X, it's the Metal Sonic death. It's all connected. Anyway. So yeah, Zelkova's dead. We beat one of the Metarex bosses. We really are at the end of the show.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And by that I mean it'll happen 2 weeks from today. But that's not the end of the episode. In fact, I wouldn't even call that the most important part of the episode. The most important part of the episode is Shadow and Rouge discovering the ugly truth. The Chaos Emerald at the top of that tree, you could assume it was a Chaos Emerald when we saw it shining before, but it's one of the fake emeralds, and this is why we have the fake emeralds. It sustains the converted forest world, and the trees are made of people.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see the traitorous humans again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Much less in these circumstances.
The dudes...
It's supposed to be the same planet they were already on.
No, I think this is meant to be a different one.
They were brought there and used and put... Or, I'm not sure if it's, used to start growing the trees.
I assume it's like a conversion of biomass or something, or energy,
So, let me just say that they're not really doing this very well, this whole reveal thing. Because, the first thing... maybe I'm stupid also, but they don't make it clear that the Metarex are Cosmos species. And especially because Cosmo has no reaction. Nobody has any reaction.
Yeah.
That's pretty weak. Then this reveal here. Okay, they're using fake chaos thermals to sustain weird amalgamations of life that they've created. I didn't pick up on that. I didn't realize that was a fake chaos thermals before. There's also no prior instances of the Metarex capturing anyone. They usually just slaughter everyone or leave planets for dead. This was not foreshadowed at all.
Yeah, I think that this is an episode that really, this would have been a great episode if you just paced these things and scripted them differently.
Yeah, it was just in a different order.
I agree wholeheartedly. At the same time, I also think that learning that, there's human sacrifices, how fucked up all this is really intriguing, and that makes me not hate the episode anyway, and, Knuckles getting good moments, taking out a Metarex boss, it's not nothing.
Yeah, I don't dislike this episode, but I'll admit this episode was struggling to keep my attention until pretty much the end.
I think...
Well, yeah, it's also, much of it is just the
Kind of
regular
just a boring episode.
whatever.
I think so much.
This point where I'm really feeling we're treading ground we've treaded multiple times.
It really is. I was making all of those Dragon Ball GT jokes at the start of this arc, but it really is good ideas with sloppy execution.
Yeah.
But even still, we gotta press on. We gotta press forward. And next time on Deep Dive Zone, will be the penultimate episode of the Metarex space arc. And
Shit.
yeah, I'm ready to be done with this show. There are good episodes coming up, and I don't ignore that. But yeah, we need to leave space. We need to go home.
I am so done with Sonic X.
We need to return to the planet as big and blue as... that's not the line from Adventure 2.
I want to return to Big.
Well, you won't be able to because he's not in Sonic the comic.
No.
Actually, I don't know if he's at the very end of Sonic the comic in like the Adventure arc. I'm pretty sure he's not, but I don't know. I haven't read it. But with all that said, that is where we were going to cut it off for tonight. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next week for another episode, and take care.